Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3689. Today's date is November 7, 2027. It's been almost like a morning at 7:09. Yeah, it's a bit cold, almost like wait, let me check the weather. It's showing 19 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's 19 degrees Celsius. Okay, is it cold? It's somewhat something. Yeah, it felt a little bit of cold. Oh yeah. Whatever. Let's just jump into the question. Okay, yeah, let's go. Okay, now question is, what if the procrastination reveal the hidden talent? Oh, that is a really good question. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is what if question. Why am I asking this question to myself? What if question is always really interested way to give the answer. It kind of like a force you to think about that reality. When I try to construct that reality, it really required a kind of like a some knowledge. When I try to provide that knowledge, it kind of like a feels really good. It kind of like a felt something that key. I don't know how do I supposed to explain it. It just something that is I'm unlocking. There is some sort of hidden information inside of me. Probably I'm not really sure, but it felt really good. Uh Disclaimer: the information that I'm trying to tell you is not exactly right or is not exactly wrong either. It is just my opinion. Okay, it's raw, it's unfiltered, it's unfiltered. It is just my opinion, and opinion is actually very much subjective. So like your opinion might be subjective, my opinion also very subjective too. So do not seek for any kind of like some information, or do not believe in any kind of like some information that I'm trying to tell you. It's just my opinion. Okay, if you need any kind of like information, go to the internet. You will find multiple sources which are more reliable. Okay, now let's jump back to the question. The question says that what if procrastination reveal the hidden talent? Now, what is exactly procrastination? Procrastination means like that you are delaying your time. Okay, that is called procrastination. Like usually is this thing that key when I sit in front of my desk, I start my laptop, and while it start like while it's kind of like doing his boot up and things like that, I was kind of like scrolling through internet, scrolling through YouTube and things like that. That is called procrastination. Okay, yeah. Procrastination is a kind of like a simply delay the time that you have, or kind of like a simply just not utilizing very much validly properly. That is called procrastination. And obviously you did it that, I also did that. It's a kind of like a simply common thing that we all did it. Okay, yeah. Now some people do lot of procrastination, some people didn't really do procrastination, or kind of like a very less procrastination. It's up to you that how much you can control your kind of like a something things that matter or not. Okay, yeah. Now the question says that what if procrastination reveal the hidden talent? Can procrastination can reveal the hidden talent? Well, I don't really think so. Okay, yeah. Like basically whatever the talent that you have, it's kind of like a simply comes from effort and kind of like a simply consistency and things and that. Because like basically if I'm gonna say the talent is just not just a talent. Okay, let me give you context. Okay, yeah. You are a kind of like a solely person that you like to do a dance. Okay, yeah. But instead of doing a dancing, you just kind of like a scrolling through reels and things and that. Even if you're kind of like a only watching dance tutorial and dance videos and things like that, it doesn't make you kind of like a proper dancer, because it's not the valid way. Okay, yeah. A dancing should supposed to be, the dancing is a kind of like a skill can improve by doing a dance, not watching a dance. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing na ki, this is what something really essential, that if you wanted to improve your skills or whatever the talent that you have, you just have to use it again and again and again and again. Then and only then you are kind of like a something bit more kind of like assembly that ki you can use your talent and things like that. You can dance really good and things like that. Okay, yeah. So basically it's up to you what is actually your talent. If your talent is dancing, then dance. If your talent is a coding, then do a coding. Like basically if you are kind of like a stuck at somewhere and you don't know what would be the next step, obviously you will gonna seek the information, you will gonna watch a bunch of tutorial regarding about how this thing happened and things and that and that. And then after that, yeah, definitely you will kind of like simply do really perform really well, really good. Okay, yeah, but it's a really essential thing that key procrastination is never be a kind of like a something to reveal the hidden talent. There is a kind of like a some sort of context that I'm trying to tell you is this thing that ki, let's just say that ki you are doing a procrastination, and in the procrastination you are kind of like somebody watching bunch of kind of like somebody reel regarding about the geopolitics and things like that. Okay, yeah. Now basically is that you don't really have interest regarding about this thing, but way that in the reel the information that try to tell you, it kind of like a felt really good and you are kind of like simply watching that particular information. Now after some sort of time there is a context happen, there is a like a people who are talking about that particular topic about geopolitics, and you have a latest information regarding about that. And now you kind of like simply try to talk about this thing that dude, this is not happened, this actually happened and things and that and that. So basically in this particular context, yeah, because of this procrastination it kind of like a reveal your hidden talent, but still it's not considered as a talent. Okay, yeah, you just kind of like simply whatever the information that you collect from this reels or things like that, you just pasted this information in your group. So probably does it actually called you a kind of like a talent? Well, probably not. Okay, because talent is actually comes from effort, na dude. Specifically, consistency is very much essential. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's not kind of like considered as a talent. It's a considered as a kind of like something you just copy and paste. Okay, yeah. Like basically, example is this thing now. If you are kind of like watched that video 2 days ago, and after the 2 days ago, there is a people who at the community who are talking about this thing. You might not deliver that same intensity of information when time is kind of like a very less. Okay, so it is that. Okay, so procrastination is never really be hidden talent. Okay, yeah. Never really at all. It is, it's kind of like a somebody it's depend on how do you kind of like a procrastinate. Okay, yeah. Like there are different way of procrastination, let me tell you. Okay, yeah. Like let's just say that key you are kind of like a system, you kind of like a started your system, now your system kind of like a takes time to start and things like that. Now in this particular period of time you are kind of like a only watching one specific kind of like a small video, let's just say filmmaking video. Okay, or kind of like a simply how to take good photos and things and that and that. Now you are watching the same type of content again and again and again and again and again and again. Like basically is this thing, you are not really kind of like a simply went into the trap of social media. No, you are kind of like a simply watching such a video that you will really love it and you really wanted to kind of like a simply improve the career and things and that and that. Now in this particular context this might gonna work because in this particular you are getting the same information again and again every time you are kind of like a do procrastination things like that. And when you had a camera you kind of like a take a good photo, because of that somehow unintentionally or intentionally you kind of like a somebody watch a kind of like a tutorial or watch a kind of like a somebody video regarding about how to take a good photos and things and that. And then when you have a camera you kind of like a take a really good photos, you kind of like understand about the golden ratio, you have to understand regarding about that key 3/4 rules and things and that. And then you are kind of like taking really good photos. So basically is this thing now, I'm not saying is this thing that key procrastination is never really kind of like a unreveal the talent. It's up to you. Okay, yeah, it's up to you that how do you supposed to utilize that procrastination time. Okay, yeah, because like basically is this thing now key the procrastination is called when you kind of like somebody spending time on such a thing that doesn't really matter. Yeah, but you can make this time kind of like something matter to you. It's up to you. Okay, yeah, like basically don't let social media kind of like choose you what kind of like a content that you're gonna watch. be specific regarding about who, and be specific regarding about be specific to tell to the social media that what kind of some content that you love to watch. Like basically how do you supposed to do that? Yeah, like let's just say I like a kind of something the photography and filmmaking piece of content. So what exactly happened that key there is a kind of some setting, okay, that you have to kind of show me a preference, okay, feed preference, okay, or add a preference or things like that. So in the add preference I select my specific kind of some feed, like a filmmaking or kind of some photography or things or that, okay, yeah. But probably it's not actually work. Like it's essential that na ki first of all is that ki turn off the kind of all the kind of some sensitive content, okay, yeah, from social media platform. Then another thing is that ki follow such a people that kind of some resonate your talent, okay, yeah. Like me, Peter McKinnon is a kind of some really amazing photographer. So I follow this particular person, I like his photos and things like that. So basically I follow his person, so I kind of follow that, and then I follow Sam Colder, then I follow a kind of some multiple people who are kind of associate with that thing. Now basically when this actually happens, social media is actually understand that ki, okay, you are the kind of person who likes the photography piece of content. So basically social media is actually kind of showing you that piece of content. Then you just have to kind of like those photos and things and that. Okay, yeah. Now basically social media will understand that you are the just person who are like the photography content, so it kind of showing you photography content, and that's it. Then the kind of some social media will kind of somebody telling, kind of showing such a piece of content that you really love it, okay, yeah. And you will not gonna kind of somebody something like that key into that trap that kind of somebody social media dictates that what would you watch and stuff like that, okay. So this is what it is. I'm not saying is that I already mentioned that procrastination is a kind of assembly, not be able to extract the hidden talent. Yeah, like it's up to you. Okay, it's up to you that how do you kind of assembly is this thing. Also, procrastination doesn't means like that you just kind of assembly watching kind of a bunch of videos and things like that. Sometimes procrastination is a kind of considered as a you just kind of simply not basically not focus that much, or you just kind of simply just maybe somewhere else and things like that. But I don't want to mention this example over here because of that most of the kind of a procrastination is actually happen is because of the excessive amount of mobile usage. Okay, whenever we have kind of some small amount of time, we just kind of went into the mobile phone and kind of somebody is scrolling through mulch of apps and things and that, because it's quite an easy and things like that. Okay, so that's why most of the kind of people are kind of doing the procrastination on their phone, and probably, yeah, okay. So what exactly is this thing? My what exactly my opinion? Can procrastination will kind of somebody reveal the hidden talent? Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, yeah. It's not like I'm not kind of fully convinced with this kind of some statement, and I'm not fully convinced with, yeah, like basically is this thing. It's like basically the solution that I told you is not exactly the everyone follows. Okay, like the only people who follows that social solution is a kind of a people who are kind of simply understand the what kind of simply consequences that they want and things and that. Like every people are kind of simply normal people, and they just kind of simply watch a kind of entertain social media and things like that. Now social media is kind of simply way that social media entertain is kind of a very much different way. Like basically it kind of showing such a kind of simply half naked woman that you love to watch and things like that. Like basically is this thing na ki, yeah, like you already understand na, like a basically half naked woman is kind of something so much attractive, even if you don't really like it or things like that. You just kind of something stuck with that particular reel and things like that, and it's just showing more and more, and it kind of trap you more and more, because social media earns money is because of having more and more of your attention. When you have more and more attention, they just kind of make sure that you just kind of stick with your platform, stick on their platform to kind of a more and more period of time. And they kind of doing this thing by kind of showing such a content that you love to watch. Now basically is this thing that filmmaking and kind of a photography piece of content that most of people didn't really love it, but kind of simply half naked women that everyone loves it. Okay, so this is what it is. This is what kind of like social media works and things like that. Okay, so basically it's up to you. Okay, yeah, how do you supposed to kind of like assembly convey yourself to kind of like assembly, or direct yourself to kind of like assembly, how do you do procrastination, things like that. But what if like in this particular question that it says that what if procrastination is kind of like reveal the hidden talent, then what would be that world? uh it's not like, basically if I'm kind of like a think about that point of perspective now, then probably it's okay. Yeah, let me give you the context. Okay, yeah, the talent is actually comes from the people what they want and what they like and things like that. Now basically the people who watch the piece of content on social media platform, yeah, they love it, but it's not meant to be that they are kind of like only consider their talent. No, definitely not. So they have to it's, I don't know, yeah, it's like basically it's very hard to kind of like I'm kind of like somebody stuck in this particular loop where kind of like somebody sometimes it's actually happened, sometimes it did not. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like really very vague and things like that. But probably if I'm gonna say that key, I'm kind of like a simply 1% agree on sorry, I'm kind of like a 10% agree on uh, the procrastination will kind of like a something reveal the hidden talent. 10% agree, 90% I am 90% I'm kind of like a simply um, disagree that key kind of like a procrastination is a kind of like a something reveal the hidden talent. I'm disagree with that thing. Yeah, it's not okay because the talent is actually comes from the hard work, specifically consistency. Okay, yeah. If you are kind of like such a person who kind of like somebody change your procrastination method to kind of like a getting some sort of knowledge and information, then it might kind of like a very different kind of like a perspective. Okay. All right, I should supposed to be in here. It's like a fucking cold. By the way, today it's a bit more busy day. Okay, yeah. Today, I'm actually going to another city, Nagpur, with my sister for she has an exam and I have to go with her. Okay, yeah. So there is a kind of like a lot of things that I should supposed to figure out. Like first of all, the content creation, because everything should supposed to be happen before 1 p.m. Okay, and then after that, yeah. By the way, I will gonna come home. Probably I'm gonna record artifact during the night. Probably, yeah. Whatever. So I should supposed to be in here, and this is it. This end, and thank you.